wives, do you need a wife coach or a marriage counselor? Hello, I'm Tiffany Godfrey, and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Wife Coach TV. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about myself towards the end of this video, but I want to answer the question, do you need a wife coach or a marriage counselor? Now, oh, by the way, before I get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button, girl, because we got a lot of stuff coming, and I want you to hear about every single thing. That's if you're a wife who really wants your marriage to work. All right, so let's look at the difference between a wife coach and a marriage counselor. So I just want you to imagine you're at a basketball game, maybe your son or your nephew's basketball game, and you see this coach yelling and trying to gather everybody around the huddle. The pressure's on. He is trying to, the goal is for him to win. Okay, that's the first thing. He is trying to get, let me get my stuff straight. He is trying to get his players to win the game. Now, he's going to push them, maybe to do some things that they don't want to do, but in the long run, guess what's going to happen? They're going to win because he's coaching them. So he's pushing them. And that's what a wife coach will do for you as a married woman. She's going to push you to get unstuck and go from point A to point B. Now, here's the thing. You got to know what you want. You got to know what your goal is. The wife coach is not going to be able to tell you that. You need to know what you want. So let's say, for example, you are married and you are having problems conversing, problems having communication with your husband. Every time you talk to him, it becomes an argument, whether it's the kids, whether it's the money, whether it's church, whether it's work, no matter what, you have problems communicating with him, and it always ends up in an argument. And because of that, you get nothing accomplished. That's a horrible feeling. Now, what that wife coach is going to do is she's going to ask you a series of questions to see where you are. What is causing that? What part do you play? Because here it is. It's a wife coach. Okay, so she's talking to you. And you have to be responsible for what you are doing in the relationship. I'm not saying that it's all him. But you have to be willing to take responsibility for where you are wrong. So you can, because the bottom line is you can't change your husband. That's the bottom line. So she's going to get you from point A to point B. So you're in point A. You can't have a conversation with him without arguing. Point B, this would be your goal, to get through a conversation without arguing, to have peace at the end of every conversation. So over the period of about 10 to 12 weeks, she's going to talk you through some things to help you get to a place of peace. Now, you may say, okay, now I want to be able to talk to him about money and decide on how we're going to get savings. Well, that may be another 10 to 12 weeks because that's another goal. But at least you've started off keeping peace, just having a conversation. So that's what the wife coach is going to do. She's going to get you from point A to point B. You need to know what your goal is coming to the wife coach. Or if you don't know, she'll ask you a series of questions to help you figure out what it is. But you got to have a goal because she's going to ask you questions to get to that point. That's a little different from the marriage counselor. The marriage counselor is going to bring a place of healing. Okay, so her goal is to bring healing to whatever it is that you're facing. So let's say we're talking marriage counselor. There's all kinds of counselors, but we're talking marriage right now. So let's say there was adultery in the relationship. You need a counselor because you need somebody to arbitrate, to help with the emotions, because you got the person who did it, they're feeling guilty and bad. You've got the person who is hurting, they're ready to fight, to break up, to give up. And that therapist has to work with, they call it a therapist too, counselor therapist, but that counselor has to help you work through things so that you can see things from the proper perspective if you want to save the marriage, if you want to get healing. Because the only way you're going to really save the marriage is if you get healing. Now, I have seen people who've been married and they never got healed, and they're just doing marriage, and they're still mad, they're still angry, they never dealt with it because they never went to a counselor. But that won't be you. If you've dealt with adultery, I would recommend you see a counselor. Also, you can have counseling if there's some mental issues that weren't dealt with. Also, if you were traumatized, let's say there was a abuse or molestation, and that is affecting what's going on in the bedroom. Girl, you need to get a counselor, I'm telling you, because she's going to have to help you to get to a place of healing so that you can enjoy sex, because sex is a big part of marriage. Did you know that? It is a big part of your marriage. And let me tell you something. Even if you don't like it, your husband wants it, and you owe him that to get to a place of healing so that you can be your very best and so you can enjoy it. Because I'm going to tell you, girl, sex in marriage feels good. But that's another video for another time. But anyway, here's the bottom line. If you want, whether it's coaching or counseling to work, you have to do your part. You have to put in the work. Do not expect your counselor or coach to do everything, because that is not her job. You're going to her to help you. So you have to do your part. I would first say, know what you want. Okay, do you want healing? Do you want to be healed from previous relationships? Do you want to get to a point where you and your husband can spend quality time together? That's a coaching thing. That's not really a counseling thing. So you got to know the difference between the two. But anyway, I believe that your marriage can work if you work it. And the goal is to find the professional, the individual that can help you to get to the point that you want to be at. Now, let me just tell you something. You can't change your husband. I am a wife coach. I've been coaching for over 10 years. And so many women say, I want my husband to be this, this, and that. It won't happen. You got to change. You got to do your part. And then that gives God the space to do his part to work on your husband. I've had many women who have had success with me, who work with me. We talk about all kinds of things. And that's the kind of content I'm going to be presenting to you. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about hair. By the way, did you know there are 5 things that your husband needs? He needs sex. You already know that. He needs respect. So we're going to talk submission. I know you might not want to hear that. He needs peace. He needs good food, and he needs you to look good. So we're going to be talking about hair. We're going to be talking about communication. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about quality time. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But in order for you to find out when those videos come up, I need you, again, if you didn't do it, I need you to click subscribe and the notification button. And if you like this video, go ahead and click like. Go ahead and click that thumbs up, girl. Well, anyway, I am Tiffany Godfrey, your committed wife coach. Oh, by the way, I'm not just somebody who was just married 2 days ago. I've been married for almost 24 years, so I have a lot of experience. And also, I'm a Christian wife coach, so I'm giving you advice based on the Word of God. So if this is a channel that has really helped you, go ahead and share it with somebody. But you better make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button. I'm Tiffany Godfrey, your committed wife coach. I'll see you in the next video, girl.